My name is Chloe Marie. I'm 15 years old. And on the night of October 14th, 2022, inside a city park just 3 blocks from my house, I was murdered. I didn't get to say goodbye to my mom. I didn't get to finish my senior year art project. I didn't even get to scream. One minute, I was walking home with my headphones on, watching the autumn leaves blow across the pavement. The next, there was a hand over my mouth, the cold sting of metal entering my side, and then darkness. This isn't a story about how I died, though. The police report tells that part. This is a story about where I went, who I met, and the 4 terrifying, beautiful things he showed me that are coming to our world in the year 2026. Before that night, I was just a normal girl. I lived in a suburb outside of Portland, Oregon. I was the kind of kid who sat in the back of the class and drew pictures in the margins of my notebooks. I worried about stupid things. I worried if my crush liked me back. I worried about whether we could afford for me to go to art school. I fought with my little brother, Leo, over who got to control the TV remote. I wasn't a saint. I went to church sometimes with my grandma, but mostly just to make her happy. I believed in God, I guess, but I didn't think he paid much attention to a quiet teenager like me. I thought God was for big things, wars, presidents, miracles, not for Chloe Bennett walking home from the library. But I was wrong. I was so wrong. It happened fast. I took the shortcut through Miller's Park. I'd done it 1,000 times. It was chilly that night, the kind of cold that bites your cheeks. I was listening to a playlist my friend made me. I remember looking up at the street lamp flickering above the swing set. Then I heard a crunch of dry leaves behind me. I turned around, expecting to see a stray dog or maybe a jogger, but it was a man. I didn't know him. He wore a heavy gray hoodie. I saw the glint of the knife before I saw his eyes. Panic isn't loud like in the movies. It's quiet. It freezes you. My throat closed up. I tried to run, but my legs felt like they were stuck in mud. He grabbed me. I felt the sharp, hot tear of the blade in my ribs. It didn't hurt at first, it just felt like a punch. A really hard punch. Then the heat spread. I fell to the grass. The smell of wet dirt and iron filled my nose. The man ran away. I could hear his footsteps fading, faster and faster. I was alone. I tried to put my hand over the wound, but my fingers were slippery. The pain finally hit me then. It was a roar, screaming through my whole body. I gasped for air, but my lungs wouldn't fill up. I looked at the sky. The stars were blurry. My vision started to tunnel, like looking through a paper towel roll. The edges turned gray, then black. I thought about my mom. She's going to be so mad I'm late, I thought. It was such a silly thought. Then the cold stopped. The pain stopped. The fear stopped. I stood up. That's what it felt like. I just stood up. But when I looked down, my body was still on the grass. It looked so small, like a discarded coat. I saw my sneakers, the white ones I had just scrubbed clean that morning. One was untied. I heard sirens in the distance. Blue and red lights started flashing against the trees. I saw the ambulance pull up to the curb. I saw the EMTs jump out. They looked so frantic, running toward my body. One of them, a woman with a ponytail, knelt over me. She was shouting things like, "No pulse," and "Start compressions." I wanted to tell her, "Hey, it's okay. I'm right here. I'm fine." But when I tried to speak, no sound came out. It was like I was on a different frequency. I was tuned into a station they couldn't hear. Then, the park began to fade. The trees, the ambulance, the frantic woman, they all dissolved like mist in the morning sun. I wasn't floating in space. I wasn't in a tunnel. I was standing on a floor that looked like polished obsidian, dark but warm. And standing in front of me was a man. I knew who he was instantly, but he didn't look like the pictures in my grandma's Bible. He didn't have that soft, floaty look. He looked solid. That's the only word I can use. He was more solid than the ground, more solid than the mountains. Next to him, I felt like a ghost. He was wearing a robe, but it wasn't made of fabric. It looked like it was woven out of the heavy, rich clay of the earth, textured and real. His skin was the color of polished bronze, and his eyes weren't just full of light, they were like deep wells. Have you ever looked down into a well and seen the water shimmering way down at the bottom? That was his eyes. They held ancient things. They held storms and calm seas all at once. He didn't smile like a salesman. He looked at me with a seriousness that made my knees weak, but it wasn't a scary seriousness. It was the look a father gives you when you've been hurt and he's about to fix it. The air around him hummed. It felt heavy, charged, like the air right before a thunderstorm breaks. It smelled like cedar wood and ozone. He stepped toward me. He didn't float. He walked. I heard the sound of his feet on the floor. "Chloe," he said. His voice wasn't in my ears. It vibrated in my chest bone. It sounded like a rushing river. "Am I dead?" I asked. My voice sounded tiny, like a squeak. He reached out and took my hands. His hands were rough, like a carpenter's or a gardener's. They were warm. "You have crossed the line, little one," he said, "but your story is not written in ink that cannot be erased." I started to cry, not because I was sad, but because standing this close to him, I felt everything I had ever hidden, every lie I told my mom, every time I was mean to Leo, every time I hated myself when I looked in the mirror. I felt like he could see it all, like I was made of glass. I tried to pull my hands away. I was ashamed. I didn't want him to see the ugly parts of me. But he held on tighter. "Look at me," he commanded, gentle but firm. I looked up. "I know," he said. He didn't say, "I forgive you." He just said, "I know." And in that "I know," the shame vanished. It just evaporated. He knew me, the worst of me, and he was still holding my hands. "I have much to show you," he said. "The world you came from is changing. The seasons are shifting. You must see what is coming, so you can tell the others to not be afraid." He turned, and suddenly we weren't in the obsidian room anymore. We were standing on the edge of a cliff, overlooking a world that looked like Earth, but different. It was darker, hazier. "This is the year 2026, he said. My heart hammered. "Time is a river," he said, "but from here, I can see the bends in the river." He held up 4 fingers. "4 shifts," he said. "4 events that will shake the sleepers awake." He pointed to the sky. I looked up. In my vision, I saw the sun, but it looked strange. It was flickering, like a light bulb about to go out. "Watch the skies," Jesus said. "In the early months of 2026, there will be a silence." I saw people on Earth holding their phones. They were tapping screens, but nothing was working. The internet was down. Satellites were silent. It wasn't a war. It was something magnetic, something from the sun itself. But it wasn't just technology. I saw the birds stop singing. I saw the wind die down. For 3 days, he told me, man will be forced to look at his brother's face again. The noise will stop. The distraction will break. It will terrify many. They will think it is the end. But tell them this. It is a pause. It is my hand pressing the mute button on the chaos. I saw families sitting in living rooms, lighting candles. They were talking, actually talking. Teenagers looked up from their dead screens and saw their parents' eyes. "The silence is a gift," he said. "Do not fear the quiet." The scene shifted. Now I was looking at a giant building. It looked like a government building, maybe in America, maybe Europe. I couldn't tell. Suddenly, the walls of the building turned into clear glass. I saw people inside running. I saw papers flying. I saw gold hidden in the floorboards. Everything hidden will be shouted from the rooftops, Jesus said. His voice was stern now. In the middle of 2026, the glass wall will break. He showed me that a secret, a very big, old secret that powerful people have kept for decades is going to come out. It had to do with children. It had to do with how the vulnerable were treated. I felt sick to my stomach. I saw news anchors on TV looking pale, reading papers with shaking hands. People will be angry, I said. I could feel the rage of the world rising up like steam. They will be, he answered, but the poison must be drawn out before the wound can heal. When this happens, Chloe, tell the people, justice is mine. Do not let your hearts turn to stone. Watch the truth, but do not become the hate. The visions faded. I was back on the solid ground with him. I felt heavy. It was a lot to carry. Why show me? I asked. I'm just Chloe. I got a C in history. Nobody listens to me. They will listen now, he said. Then he let go of my hands. It is time to go back, he said softly. My stomach dropped. No, I said. I stepped back. No, please. I don't want to go back. I thought about the pain, the knife, the cold ground, the scary man in the hoodie. It hurts there, I cried. It's so loud and mean. Here. Here, it's real. You're real. Please let me stay. I fell to my knees and grabbed the hem of his robe. It felt like holding onto a mountain. I'm tired, I sobbed. I'm just so tired. He knelt down. He was eye level with me. He wiped a tear from my cheek with his thumb. His touch sent a warm jolt through my body, like drinking hot cocoa on a snow day. I know you are tired, daughter, he said, but your work is not done. You have to warn them. You have to love them. He paused, and his face got very serious. And you have to forgive him. I froze. Who? The man who hurt you? I shook my head. I can't. He killed me. And I will bring you back, Jesus said. Forgiveness is the key that unlocks the chains. If you take this anger back with you, it will poison your second chance. Leave it here. Give it to me. I looked into those deep, ancient eyes. I saw so much love there. He loved me, but I realized, with a shock, he even loved the man with the knife. He hated what the man did, but he loved the soul. It was the hardest thing I've ever done. I took a deep breath. Okay, I whispered. I forgive him. As soon as I said it, I felt lighter, like a sandbag had been cut off my ankle. Jesus smiled. It was a smile that could light up a whole galaxy. Go, he said. He placed his hand on my forehead. And remember, it felt like being dropped from a 10-story building. My eyes flew open. Bright, harsh, fluorescent lights burned my retinas, beeping, constant, rhythmic beeping. She's back. Doctor, she's back. My chest felt like it was on fire. Every breath was a struggle. I tried to scream, but there was a tube in my throat. I gagged. Hands were holding me down. Easy, Chloe. Easy. You're in the hospital. You're safe. I blinked, tears streaming down the sides of my face into my ears. I saw my mom. She looked 10 years older. Her eyes were red and puffy, her hair a mess. She was screaming my name, reaching over the rails of the bed. Chloe. Oh my God, Chloe. I wanted to tell her I saw him. I wanted to tell her about the silence and the glass wall and the red star. But the doctors were rushing around. It's a miracle, one of them muttered. She was down for 12 minutes. She shouldn't be here. 12 minutes? I had been dead for 12 minutes. But I had lived a lifetime in that obsidian room. Recovery was hard. I had 2 surgeries. I have a scar that runs down my side, a reminder of the night I left the world. The police never caught the guy. And you know what? It used to make me furious. But then I remember Jesus' eyes. I remember the command, leave it here. So I pray for him. I pray that the harvest of the lonely finds him too. I know some of you will think I'm crazy. You'll say it was just oxygen deprivation or a hallucination. That's okay. I don't need you to believe me for my sake. But I'm telling you this because he told me to. 2026 is coming. The world is going to get loud, and then it's going to get very quiet. Secrets are going to break open. The sky is going to change. Don't be afraid. When the phones stop working, look at your family. When the secrets come out, pray for truth. When the kids start praying in the malls, join them. And when you see the sign in the sky, don't look down in fear. Look up. My name is Chloe. I died in a park on a Tuesday night, and the one who sent me back wants you to know one thing. He is real, he is solid, and he is coming close.